All right, so far we've been learning what I believe is Malcolm's guitar part. Angus's guitar part during the intro starts off like this. So let's take a look at this phrase. Hammer on from 3 to 5 on the A string. Play the open D and G strings. Pull off 3 to the open A string, followed by an A5 chord. And we'll do this 4 times. 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's the intro for Angus's part. Then the verse comes in. Angus just lays out. It's just Malcolm during the first part of the verse. The second half of the verse, Angus comes in with this phrase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So we're going to play an A chord, 5th fret, top 2 strings, 6th fret on the G string. And we're going to accent on the and of 1 and on the downbeat of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. That'll be 1 measure, and we'll do that for 8 measures. So we'll play this riff 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. And then we're into the chorus. Both guitars play the same phrase during the chorus. Coming out of the chorus, we're going to be into the bagpipe solo. Okay, very cool. That might be one of the reasons that this song is tuned up a half step for the bagpipes. I'm not really sure why it's tuned up a half step, but it sounds cool. Now, the bagpipes and the lead guitar trade off here, and Angus starts off with this phrase. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the bagpipes answer that with the same riff. So here we're going to play 5, hammering on to 6 on the G string, and then 5 on the high E string 2 times, and we'll slide off of that note. And we'll do this 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Now, following the guitar bagpipe trade-off section, we'll then be into the guitar solo. We'll play some chords and then we'll do some licks. So it's kind of a trade-off between some chords and some licks for the solo. It's not a constant barrage of notes. So we're going to play a G chord, a D chord, followed by an A chord, and then the first riff comes in, which is this. Which is a bend of a whole step from the 13th fret of the B string, followed by a bend of a whole step from the 12th fret of the B string, followed by 10 to 12 on the B string, 11G, 10B, and once again, 11G, 10B. And in context with the chords that came just before, here's how the phrase would sound. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's the next phrase. So we have the same chords, G, D to A. Now we're going to go to the B string, 15th fret, bend up a whole step, releasing the bend, pulling off to the 13th fret of the B string. Now we'll bend up a whole step from the 15th fret of the B string 2 times, and then 12, 15, 12 on the high E. Followed by 16, 15 pull off to 13 on the B string, ending 14 on the G string. And if we put all that together, 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's the final lick of the solo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. This phrase starts on the 17th fret of the G string, 17th fret of the B string. Play those 2 notes together 2 times, and then play 19 on the D string. Now repeat that. So far we've done this. Now we're going to do a bend from the 19th fret of the G string up a whole step, grab 20 on the B string, followed by 19 on the G, strike 19 on the G once again, bend up a whole step, release the bend, pull off to 17 on the G. Now bend up a whole step from 19 on the G string, then grab 17 on the high E string. 17 B. Now we're going to grab 20 on the B string, and now we're going to do a pre-bend of a whole step from the 20th fret of the B string. So we'll bend up a whole step, strike the note, and then slide off of it. And now we're going to slide up on the G string, and then we're going to land on the 7th fret of the D string. All right, so here's the final phrase. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so there you have the solo. Why don't we go back now and put it all together? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, following the solo, we're going to be back into the intro of the song, followed by verse, chorus, and then we're into the outro. During the outro, there's some really cool rhythmic phrases that happen that I'd like to go over, and here's one of them. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's break this down. Open A, D, and G strings, and then hammer on to the 2nd fret of the D and the G string, so we'll get that A5 chord. Strike the A5 once again. And now open A along with the 4th fret of the D string, open A string, A5, back to the open A string along with the 4th fret of the D string. And we'll just repeat that over and over again. This starts on the and of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's another cool riff that happens during the outro. This one starts on the and of 3. 1, 2, 3. So here we're going to play 3 to 4 on the A string. followed by the A5 chord 2 times. Open A along with the 4th fret of the D string once, back to the A5 chord. And just repeat that over and over. 1, 2, 3. Here's another riff that happens during the outro. 1, 2, 3. So after striking the open low E string, I'll then play 3 on the low E, followed by that A5 chord. And we'll repeat those 2 notes a total of 5 times. So it would sound like this. And then we start all over again. 1, 2, 3. And the final phrase of the outro I'd like to look at is very simple, but perhaps the coolest, definitely the most aggressive, and that's just an A chord. Very direct and to the point. Just starting on the downbeat of 1, we'll play that A chord 3 times. Over and over again. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, well, there you have the highlights for It's a Long Way to the Top. Have some fun with that. All right, well, here we are at the end of the DVD. If you made it all the way through, congratulations. I know that's a lot of hard work. Probably the most important thing to remember when playing rock and roll, especially AC/DC, is that attitude goes a long way. You know, if you learn these solos note for note, that's great. If you want to improvise your solos along with the backing tracks, that's great too. I think the most important thing is the spirit in which it was intended, which is very aggressive, high energy rock and roll. As long as you're putting the attitude in there, I think you'll be all right. As long as you know the main riffs, you can improvise a little bit with the solos, it should sound all right. I'm sure every time Angus plays these solos, he puts a little slight different twist in there. So just try and see the big picture for these songs. Put yourself in the shoes of Angus, put on the backing tracks, and go for it. So, thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Have some fun with this stuff.